Welcome back. Today we will be starting on the Grand Battle of Malvern Hill. As part of the campaign, you get two back-to-back Grand Battles with no break in between, so make sure that you plan out for that. We can see from our previous good strong victory at Gaines Mill, I have put one more point into Army Organization and one more into Politics. I've gone ahead and bought out, again, all the howitzers and parrots that have gotten into the stock, as well as the James. Leaving the Whitworths alone, their range just really isn't quite worth it, given their just god-awful accuracy. Interestingly, probably this is the only battle where Whitworths are really advantaged over the other long-range rifled guns, and I probably still wouldn't take them here. Cavalry-wise, didn't buy anything really, just bought some 1859s, and I've swapped them into use. Skirmishers, continued buying up JF Browns, and I've put them into use. And infantry, continued buying Henrys and 1855s. So army-wise, I was asked to talk a little bit more about deal army composition. For a full corps, you'd have your 4 divisions. We'll say only 20 brigades, because a lot of the mid-game and even early late-game battles are 20 brigades per corps. I would say my general philosophy is you want to keep a fairly balanced corps. I've seen other people who say they like to use like assault corps or cavalry corps or things like that, but I find that if you just stay relatively balanced, you have the best opportunity. Excuse me, the best opportunity to just take advantage of all the different situations that you can find in the game within your one self-contained corps. So what that means is that you want to have a good mix of infantry or artillery with just enough cavalry and skirmishers to be able to be useful. Although obviously, depending on the specifics of the battle, you can then shift those numbers around. For example, here I know that early on in the defense, cavalry are not really that useful because you don't have the opportunity to sally forth. Because of that, I have not opted to deploy any cavalry in my first corps. Instead, I've put them in the first brigade of my second corps, so that they can then advance forward and get that opportunity. But in a balanced corps, so I would have one melee cavalry like here, one range cavalry here, and then I actually put them in the third and the fourth for later, and then I have the sniper skirmishers up in the second division. Again, keeping a good, then nice healthy mix of infantry and artillery to round that out. Split your artillery between divisions, because as hopefully as you've noticed by now, the game, if you're not fully deployed at the start, the game tends to deploy by divisions. And if you get auto-deployed and you don't get to specifically select who you're deploying with, you don't want to deploy like a full-up infantry division with no artillery backing them up. Just stay balanced, both even down to the divisional level, and then even at your course. Anyway, for here, nothing really too exciting here. Some rookies again to bulk out numbers. Combined with good solid veteran units. Given these guys, I now just have enough Colt 1855s for them to get used, so we're going to hopefully see their pretty disgusting fire rate. I know exactly where I want to put this division, and when we get into the battle. And then a bunch of more journeyman units. I've started to dole out some Lorenzes, again here and there. And this is the best artillery in the game. These guys have some pretty gross kill numbers here, like on these guys 2,000 kills on Gaines Mill. Same thing here. These guys are finally, I've got enough JF Browns to get them into use. These guys get some more of my Lorenzes. So, alright, let's get into it. And the report, They had another 22,000 men. If you look back at the army numbers or at the results, they basically just get all their men back. They just lost at gains, which is fine. Battle of Malvern Hill. At the Battle of Gaines Mill, General McClellan has been convinced that the Peninsula campaign cannot last any longer. The main camp of the Union Army has been set up at Harrison's Landing to prepare for the withdrawal. Under the safety of his ironclads, General McClellan organized his last resort defense at Malvern Hill, choosing you for the command. General Lee is not pulling back. He gambles and decides to attack the heavily fortified position in an attempt to bring a decisive end to our operations near Richmond. The rebels are determined to defend their capital, and our army cannot take any more beating. They are chasing us, and we must defend again. The bulk of the Union Expeditionary Force has no more strength to continue. The majority of our army is embarking at Harrison's Landing a few miles to the south. We must hold our positions on Malvern Hill until we finalize the tactical withdrawal. The best ground to defend is at Malvern Hill's north section. Artillery can see a wide area of open ground and butcher any infantry assaults. It would be crazy if the rebels decided to attack the west side of Malvern Hill, through swamps and rugged terrain, but we must be cautious. We can consider the west side, this should, I think, be the east side. We can see the west side safe from assaults too, as the small river and high cliffs should discourage an attack. General, Malvern Hill is an impressive defensive location, and the Confederates are going to receive a hard beating if they insist upon attacking. Let them come and take what they deserve. We expect the main force of the rebels to come from this direction. That hilltop can be used to bombard our lines, so prepare for counterfire. We also need some artillery batteries to oversee this hill area. The Confederates may use the tree as conceal in advance and attack us. General, it is recommended to stand your ground and not attempt to move away from Malvern Hill. If we hold a superior defensive position, we should wait for them to attack. Okay. So you only get 8 brigades to start. That will be enough. They're going to have an offensive. A lot of their troops are going to deploy straight up in this northern section. They're actually going to be split across this river. And so you're going to see some brigades come down, and then especially their second wave comes up from up here, and they're going to come down, and they need to make this bridge crossing or this river crossing. And then you'll also get some forces that'll eventually start leaking through over here, and then their artillery is going to set up in these woods here. I believe there should be another couple here, and then I think another couple of brigades eventually will get set up here. The map begins constrained like this. Eventually it widens out a bit both to the left, right, and then way down to the south. And then so you can't pass through here, or any of through here, but there is a crossing over on this side, which eventually some of their forces should end up heading down this way. And then if you are not defending here properly, they can then also push down through here and then either attempt to make the assault to sneak in through here, or really through here, or push even further south to that VP down there. So you want to watch out for that. But first, anyway, so what have I said over and over? Early fortifications are a trap. So there's fortifications here, here, here. I think extending out to here. I think this is technically one, and then also around here. But here's the but. If you take these fortifications, look at this tree cover sitting right in here. Look at this tree cover sitting right here. Even these fields right here. These fields right here. You will just get overwhelmed and outshot. So don't take those positions. Instead, push up again into the trees and deny the cover. Further, if you put one of your best brigades right here, you can engage the enemy and force them to be in your shooting range as they're attempting to make this bridge crossing or this river crossing, and you basically cut them to pieces. So you put 2 brigades sitting right here, 2 brigades sitting right here, and you can effectively hold off the entire army. Get some skirmishers out here, or maybe see another brigade, basically just as insurance to again protect this crossing. You catch them right here, because there occasionally will be a brigade that leaks through. And then you're going to want to work your skirmishers up and around and take out the artillery. If you bring cavalry, you can also hold them in reserve, eat a brigade that comes and tries to cross here, and then also push out that way. That's another good thing you can do. And eventually, the way you're going to get your reinforcements, and then you're going to push up and out while maintaining this line, and then use that to force across this crossing, and then you can basically pocket them into this area, especially as at the same time your forces should be winning on this side because they don't send much here. So if you got a full 15 brigades coming up from here, then you overwhelm and you just pocket the entire force. Consider this a fairly easy battle as well. So we'll take one of our combined divisions there. Where's my 2nd division? 2nd division right here as well. Something like this. I don't need you, and I want my other howitzers here. And something like this should do. So you can have basically 1 brigade sitting right here. They're getting part benefit from this building cover as well. And 1 sitting right here. And 2 over here, and that should be enough. And then detach some skirmishers. And then just have them waiting and hanging out here, and you can play skirmisher games with whoever comes over here. That should be enough. I really wish I had a 9th brigade because I would like to bring these guys out early and start getting some counter battery fire in. But the howitzers are probably more important. Yeah. Alright, that should be good. Okay, so just run the skirmishers over there. Then, like I said, these positions are trapped. Look how wide, if you sit in this position, look how wide 1 brigade gets deployed. So you can have like 1, 2, 3, even like 4 brigades shooting at your 1 brigade in, 75% earthworks cover. So this is poor early earthworks cover, and you lose. Even here, this is pretty bad. These are a little better because you actually have forests here, but you get kind of flanked if you're sitting in these from people who are shooting you from here. Like, I think there actually is some artillery over here eventually. Just don't do that. It's just not a good idea. So you want to make sure you offset your artillery slightly behind, because that way these guys don't get good free shots on them, especially if there's any splash. Yeah. So unfortunately they do get the benefit right here of having a little bit of cover. Shift them up ever so slightly. See that they're sort of fanning out around here. So you want to be careful actually with this braid because you do kind of get shot in some sense from brigades that get stacked up over here. Really? Are they really closest? Okay. Let me shift these guys around too. Alright. These guys like are charging or something. It doesn't really make any sense. They can't get you can't cross anywhere along here for now. So anyway, this is what I was warning you about. You can't, because of the cover, this unit sitting in cover, which is great, but it means the artillery gets shot at effectively for free. So shift them down this way. Anyway, I moved no further here, make sure that they're able to contest this river crossing here because it's the closest spot. These guys are shooting across, so they shouldn't splash onto them. But, you know, watch out for that. Okay, so they're charging as well, and they're going to run straight into these guys. They've got the Colt 1855s. And yeah, take a shot like that. Take another shot like that. They're trying to charge across the river. It's not very smart. And they break just like that. Okay, so these guys are lining up across like that, so get the skirmishers out here. You're going to have one on the flanks. Just keep harassing this guy in the flanks. See if you can't get him to turn and open himself up to getting shot. So you can see that if you take this position right here, you just maul them right here and they get stuck. Looks like they're trying to make their charge here, so shift Grant over. probably this guy's probably gonna fall back. Yeah. Rear flanked. Wow. Okay. They're finally pushing their manpower advantage, but. Pull these guys back. And we will call it there. Thank you for watching.